What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, and this is part 22 of what I hope is a never-ending series of releases, reviewing, and ranking the Grateful Dead archival concert release series, Dave's Picks. I'm doing them in the order they were released, so this is 22 I'm talking about today. I will review number 22, and then I will show you where 22 falls in my ranking of the other 21 that have already been released. This is a 4-disc set, a 3-disc release with a bonus disc. Discs 1 or 2 are the complete show from 12/7/71. So it is a complete show that fits entirely on 2 discs. So somewhat of a short show for the Grateful Dead. The 3rd disc is the entirety of the 2nd set of 12/6, and there is a bonus disc included, which includes material from the 1st set of 12/6. The songs that were left off, I think, are all songs that were included on the 1st set of 12/7. So, from that bonus disc. And if you've been following these reviews so far, of the other 21, number 3 was a 1971 release of Volume 3. That is my least favorite of the shows. Not saying it's not a good show. It is a good show. It just happens to be my least favorite thus far, because what 71 seems to represent to me, the way I view it is very much a transition period where they're leaving that like late 60s, 1970s style of jamming, which is kind of seems more blues based, more psych blues based, a lot of like just loud noise stuff. You got your Dark Stars, your other ones, a lot of Pigpen lengthy jams, that kind of energy. A lot of new songs are being introduced into the repertoire in like 70, 71, 72, but they've yet to sort of transition into that more jazzy, exploratory style that I think that denotes that I'm lacking words here. I'm on Theraflu right now because my allergies are horrible, and I accidentally took PM Theraflu, but I'm like, I'm gonna do this anyways. But my mind's getting a little foggy here. But anyways, they've yet to fully jump into that style that would define sort of 72, 73, and 74. So we're in this weird in-between period where the shows are just a lot of songs, not a lot of jams. Songs sound excellent. The band sounds kind of big. I think there's kind of a big sound, not necessarily beefy, but the songs just sound full and really confident and just have a really good energy about them. But we've yet to like come into that really what I think are their peak years, that very confident, streamlined, almost effortless vibe that 72, 73, and 74 have, peaking in 74 as far as I'm concerned. Keith is in the band, no Donna, Pigpen is in the band, and then we only have one drummer with Kreutzmann. Mickey is gone by this point, and then Jerry, Bob, and Phil. And so, yeah, what we get here is we really just get a lot of songs, and we don't get a lot of really epic jams. I think both the first set in particular is particularly fire of the 12/7 show, and I think the second set of the first show, 12/6, which is disc 3, is also particularly fire. And I think the bonus disc is not a bad bonus disc, but I think it's the most head-scratching, like, why did they include this? I'm not sure it was necessary, though there are some nice moments on it. But yeah, so the entirety of the first set fits on disc 1 with just even one song. There's even one song from the second set, that's on there. So it's a pretty short first set for this area. Opens up with the Cold Rain and Snow, which I like. Nice big Cold Rain and Snows. They just feel a little more like they're taken at a slightly slower pace than they would in like the second half of the 70s, and I think that works. We get a Beat It On Down the Line that I think has like 9 or 10 intro beats, like dun 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 dun. Well, this job, so it's nice that they're playing around with that beat intro. I always like that. Mr. Charlie, we get a Sugary. We're still into the short Sugary era. We get a Next Time You See Me, Jack Straw, Next Time You See Me, in El Paso, Broke Down Palace, Run Rudolph Run, which is a really nice addition. This has some really good energy, especially towards the latter part of the song. If I have a complaint, it's that on the bonus disc, during that first set, there was another Run Rudolph Run that was played. It was left off I think probably because it was on this disc. But we don't have a lot of Run Rudolph runs out there. Run Rudolph Run was not played a lot. This version is pretty good. Yeah, it's only like 3.5 minutes long. I would rather hear that than I think what is on the bonus disc that I didn't need to be on there. There's a Mexicali Blues, about the same length. I think I'd rather have another Run Rudolph Run than, I know there's no other Mexicali on this disc, but we don't need another Mexicali. You Win Again, Cumberland Blues, which has a particularly good energy, and then Casey Jones, especially the ending of Casey Jones. The ending of Casey Jones is particularly strong and just works really well. I think it works really well as a set closer. I think maybe it works best as a show opener, but we don't get that. So it's a solid first set. Nothing incredibly well jammed out, but everything just sounds good, has good energy. The playing is good. The playing is focused. But yeah, so it's good. And then the first set closes out with the first song of the second set, which is pretty much a straightforward, pretty short Sugar Magnolia, clocking in at just over 6.5 minutes. Then we move on to disc 2. Sorry for my nose running. Theraflu's not working as well as it should. So disc 2, we get the rest of the second set, and that's all we get on disc 2. Get a Ramble on Rose, a Big Boss Man, Mexicali Blues. So again, we have a Mexicali Blues. Don't know why we need that other one. Brown Eyed Women, Me and My Uncle. Again, some of these songs have really good energy. The Big Boss Man in particular has good energy. I think even the Me and My Uncle has good energy. I mean, I always like that song. Then we get, I think, maybe one of the reasons why we get this release. We get a Smokestack Lightning. Nice, like 12+ minutes Smokestack Lightning. Pretty, standard played version of this. But the latter half of this, again, when they're kind of finished with the song proper and they're kind of in a jammy territory, that's when things get really, really interesting. But they just don't push it as far as they might, like in a year or two. And so it just kind of like, it gets interesting and then they wrap it up and then head off into the next song. We get a Deal, a Truckin', which is a good jam at the end. And then we get what I think is easily the highlight of the first show, at least as far as I'm concerned. We get a Not Fade Away, Going Down the Road Feeling Bad, back at a Not Fade Away. And again, really good jam energy, especially when we get into the transition areas between Not Fade Away and Going Down the Road, and then Going Down the Road back into Not Fade Away. Those are pretty interesting, but they're pretty much delivering what I think are standard, high quality, really entertaining, solid NFA, GTT, GDTFRBs back into NFAs. Nothing mind-blowing, nothing you have to hear, just really, really solid performing. And then the encore is One More Saturday Night. I do think one of the reasons why this might have been released, I know when I was trading tapes and collecting tapes with the dad, I wasn't seeking out 71 stuff because that has never really been my favorite year. I don't think either one of these shows, the December 6th or the December 7th show, were in circulation. This might be when they all of a sudden appeared, is right around the time this was released. Maybe they had been released in like the decade since I had been trading, and they had been unearthed, uncopied, or maybe Dave brought these to the forefront for the first time. So that might be one of the reasons why this was released. But just listening to that first show, those first 2 discs, it's really good stuff. It's really solid stuff. It's representative of the era, but I don't think anything on here is a must hear. We get to disc 3, which is the second set from December 6th, and the energy from this set is just, this is the best so far. I think this is the highlight of the 3D of the release, including the bonus disc. We get a Big Railroad Blues, which is the second song. The first song is on the end of the disc. No, it's the first song of the second set. Yeah, we get a Big Railroad Blues, which I will take these all the time, every day. These are just fantastic. We get a Me and My Uncle, again, another really high energy Me and My Uncle. A Ramble on Rose, really good funky energy in Ramble on Rose. Almost seems like it's a little like they're in the pocket in a different way. There's just a weird, slightly different feeling about the Ramble on Rose. Then we get a Playing in the Band, which is kind of fascinating. It's only 6.5 minutes long. We've yet to really stretch out. But the playing jam that occurs after the vocals kind of reminds me a little bit of like an early Fish stash, and that it seems like almost the entirety of the jam is them toying around with the dun, 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 that closing playing in the band riff, that kind of thing that they play before they go back into the reprise, and that kind of the thing that they toy with before they go into the jam. And it's like Jerry messing around with that idea in a bunch of different ways, kind of like a early Stash jam, where they're playing around with that main theme. And so it kind of doesn't ever go anywhere because they're so focused on that theme. And as soon as it seems like they're about to go anywhere, it's actually the lead in to go back into like the reprise feel. So it's a weird little 6.5 minutes, but the energy is neat. It's a little different than other playing in the bands. Incredibly short. But yeah, it's a fun listen. Then we get a cryptical envelopment into drums. And then what I think is easily the moment of this disc when everything just feels really, really right for the first time, where it's like, this is what I came for, is as soon as they go into the other one, Jerry is off soloing, and it just feels like, yeah, this is what I want. But that doesn't last very long. The energy gets mellow. They bring it down. It almost falls apart before we get a Me and Bobby McGee. And I think the Me and Bobby McGee is fantastic. One of my favorite things of this early era of the Dead is how they would put things like Me and Bobby McGee, Me and My Uncle, a lot of two me's, El Paso, in the middle of like a Dark Star or an other one or some epic jam. And Bob would get like his moment to sing in the middle of like this, Jerry song Chaos, in this case, a Bob song Chaos of the other one. But it works, and it works really well. And then the Me and Bobby McGee ends, and we go back into the other one. Again, this is one where we do get some high energy, but then we also get a very long, mellow kind of jam that slowly builds and builds and builds before like it erupts into like kind of an other one. Nothing too different here, nothing too you must absolutely hear. But there's some nice textures, nice playing with dynamics, nice bringing it down and building it up, and then Jerry giving like burst of energy to lead the band back into like what an other one space truly feels like. And then that goes into a Wharf Rat, which is fantastic, especially the ending jam. The ending jam in these 71 Wharf Rats is usually pretty special, and this is a really good ending jam. Then we get a One More Saturday Night, and then the encore is an Uncle John's Band, which is a pretty nice Uncle John's Band. Not too jammy, just kind of a typical little standard short little jam in the middle, but it's pretty good. Again, nothing that is a must here, I would say. But I think this second set of the December 6th show is by far the highlight of this set, and it's not that bad. And then it's not bad at all. Yeah, but then the bonus disc, we get a bunch of material from the first set of the 12/6 show. The stuff that was left off, they left off a Rudolph Run, which I would rather hear that again than a Mexicali Blues. They left off an El Paso, which I'm okay with. And then they left off a Next Time You See Me. But what we do get is it opens with the truckin', really good truckin', good energy in that truckin' jam. That's followed by a loser. Give me a loser every day of the week. Sounds fantastic. I love the song. Get a Mr. Charlie, Jack Straw, China Rider, pretty okay China Rider, a Tennessee Jed, another Mexicali Blues, a Black Peter, which is fantastic. Love these Black Peters from this era. Awesome song. Probably the reason why they decided to have the bonus disc, maybe because of the Black Peter and the truckin' opener. I think those are the highlights. And then we get another Casey Jones to close out the first set of this with those 3 songs missing. So anyways, yeah, it's a 71 release. If you're looking for your epic jams, you're not going to get them. If you're looking for the songs I read off, played incredibly well, the energy good, Jerry sounded awesome, the band sounding awesome, then it's a show you'll like. It's not bad. It's just I don't think there is anything on here that is a must hear. And with that being said, where does it fall on my list? Bam, it falls there. It is last. It, at least for a week, holds the number it is on. Does any other disc hold the number it is on? Like it is 22 and it is at 22? No, 18 is at 17. 18 almost held the number it was on. But yeah, nothing else really is at the number it's supposed to be, as if that means anything. But yeah, I put it last. And the reason I put it behind that other 71 show from like several weeks earlier is that other 71 show has a really nice Dark Star sitting on top of the world, back into Dark Star, into Me and Bobby McGee. That's a really nice sequence that, for me, puts this above the show I'm just talking about. So I put 3 above 22. Probably mainly on the strength of that. Plus, I think the other one in that show is a little more epic. I think it's longer by about 4 or 5 minutes, and it just has more of an epic feel that I'm looking for in my Dead shows. But yeah, again, it's not a bad show. So don't ask me in the comments why I don't like this show. I do like this show. I just like 21 other shows better than this, including all those 78 shows, which Dave seems to really have a fetish for. Because what? We have one, two, well, I guess we only have 2 78 shows on here. Wow. Why did that seem like we had so many 78 shows? I think because I'm preparing for the fact that I think the next one, number 23, is also a 78 show, if I'm not mistaken. And what? We've only had like 2 80 shows so far. But yeah. So anyways, but that's it. Those are my thoughts on Dave's Picks number 22. A good release. At times, great in the way 71 Grateful Dead are great, is great. But as far as the stuff that Dave has released so far, this is my least favorite. That's all I got to say. So anyways, Theraflu, I made it. I'm gonna go blow my nose again and crash out and try to beat these allergies. It's miserable. The cedar's at like 49,100 million or something like that, just wreaking havoc on me and my entire class. They're all like, there's like snot everywhere in my classroom. It kind of sucks. Anyways, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this release. Subscribe, like, you know how all of this stuff works, people. And more importantly, go listen to The Dead. And if there's something in this show I'm missing, let me know so I can go back and revisit it and check it out and have even more appreciation for this band I love. So anyways, thanks for watching. Take care, y'all. Peace, and stay away from that cedar. It will make you miserable. Talk to you later, y'all.